The divisions under General Paulus have arrived in Indonesia and are getting ready to support German East Asia in putting down this rebellion that has been going on for far too long. New orders have arrived to reinforce the divisions for more offensive capability, but the equipment is not yet there. However, we can already exploit, despite the fact that the divisions are now under strength, we can already exploit the breaches in the rebellion, in the lines of the rebels, and it looks like the German troops are, the German East Asian troops are capable of pushing them back as well. First target is going to be Saigon, so we will instantly start moving. I don't know what the air situation is. We actually have a complete aerial superiority here, so there's nothing I need to do about that. And that means we can focus on the European theater, where the eastern flank is where it's a little critical, especially the push towards Riga. We are pushing back the incursion here, but there's an obvious weak spot in the wall. We do need more divisions out. A lot of them are still in training. It comes down to material. In Norway, the situation is a little bit better, so everybody is on the move in Norway. We are pushing towards Bergen and Stavanger, and Denmark has betrayed us. has made a separate peace with Russia, and we will enact Unternehmen Lux once the preparations are done, which is going to be in about 3 weeks. And hopefully we can, with part of the Second Army and von Kluge, we can push quickly through Denmark towards Copenhagen and secure this area, the entrance to the Baltic and everything else, because it's really not. This would really be cutting our lines sort of in half, our supply lines towards the north sort of in half here, if Denmark joined the enemy. So Denmark will fall. And we are engaged. We've managed to hold Belfort. Currently, the troops are recovering, but we are just waiting for renewed French assaults along the lines. However, we've got 3 tank divisions under von Kluge pushing south into potentially Besançon, and to relieve the pressure on these fortifications. Now we do have a couple of naval battles going on. Anything that we need to worry about? We are sinking more Mexican convoys in the Denmark Strait. That's not the Denmark. It is the Denmark Strait. We are engaging British convoys, I believe, in the Cape Verde Plain, so in the Central Atlantic, and we are hunting down Mexican convoys in the North Atlantic Ridge, and we are hunting Colombian convoys in the Central Atlantic Gap. So all trade between potentially trade or shipping between the Americas and Europe has to get through the gauntlet of our submarines, and except for the Central Atlantic region, where we have seen some British engagements, potentially out of St. Helena. It's entirely possible that the British are operating out of these areas. So we will have to keep an eye on it. But for now, let's get back to the action. Our tanks should be able to break through the French defenders here without too much trouble. There are some British divisions here as well, but we're still waiting for the third Panzer Division to make its way in there. Okay, the Ottomans have called someone in. We have spotted again potentially an enemy group somewhere. Where are they? New spotting in the area. This is Geleitgruppe. Interesting. One of our the SMS Steinmetz is being attacked by enemy submarines, but and we've got some naval bombers coming in to support. In theory, the naval patrol wings should be able we'll get them in on the naval strikes as well, so they can assist here.
Let's make sure that we've got all of them. There's another one. So we'll get them in to join, and we've got the torpedo Küstenfliegergruppe and the torpedo bombergruppe, and both of them should be able to assist with the attack on the enemy submarines that are currently hunting the cruiser. Enemy defenses in Kristiansand, but I think we can manage to push through there. And we are just rolling up the defenders in the north here. We could expand slightly towards Bergen. I think that's not a bad idea, given that Sweden is holding the line here. So let's expand the lines in the north, and everybody else in the south is working on advancing. We should have the Westlandet supply hub is under control. We have the railway captured, so we just need to secure the railway lines, wait until it's getting connected from Oslo. But once we take Kristiansand, that is going to be another port under our control. Here we are moving through, and have we managed to retake the fortifications in... No, we have not. The Russians have reinforced the lines here, and we have not managed to retake these positions. So we're just going to... we're probably going to have to hold here for now, but this is a critical break in the lines, and we really need to retake these positions if possible. Let's get all available infantry divisions to assist with. In fact, probably not move in. We're just gonna get them to. We're just gonna get them to assist with the assault here, and let's see if we can turn the tide. But it looks like the counterattack that the Baltics have been enacting has failed. Obviously, attacking across the river is less than ideal. We'll try to launch another assault here, but I think no, this is not going to work. So we are going to probably just have to dig in here and try to hold Riga from here. We've lost this fortification, which is less than ideal. And this is where we really would need a tank force to counterattack. Unfortunately, the 6 divisions, and this really needs to be renamed. This is going to be the 10th Panzer Division. These divisions are still under strength. They're still lacking tanks and equipment. Which reminds me, we can probably get the Flakpanzer and the Waffenträger upgraded. So let's do that next. All right, somebody mentioned that there was a way to just upgrade the chassis from here, but I am not entirely certain how to do that. I can probably try to save that as new and see what happens. It's still on the basic chassis, so I do have to start from the Panzerkampfwagen 4, create a variant of that, and then we are going to change that as accordingly. And we are going to change that to a fixed superstructure. The fixed superstructure can theoretically hold in heavy howitzer. We just don't have it. The medium howitzer has a soft attack of 35, and the heavy cannon only has 20. So, yes, a medium howitzer it is for now. It's not ideal, but it is what it is, and that is going to be a self-propelled artillery. That's the Waffenträger 4. So there we go. Just the variant, and it should have enough speed. Probably 8.5. Let's compare that to the Panzer 4. Yeah, she's fast enough. So. That is a relatively cheap way of creating it. Maybe that's what the comment meant. So the Waffenträger 4 artillery is going to be the new one, and we can do the same for the AA. So if we're starting out with the Sturmpanzerkampfwagen 4, create a copy of it, and then replace that with, where's the anti-air gun? Yep, this one. And again, we're at 8.3 kilometers, so it's a relatively cheap way of doing this. Maybe I haven't done this right in the past. So there we go. Variants are done, and that means we can actually switch the production line. I'm just going to switch the production lines over, honestly, at this point, and we'll just use the old. This kind of equipment tends to. Oh, the Flammpanzer we have to do as well. This kind of equipment tends to tends to go relatively quickly. Do we need to do the Flammpanzer? No, actually, we could. Yeah, we may as well. This is a slightly different setup because it doesn't need to be as fast. So, however, now that we have faster tanks, we're probably just going to start from here as well. So let's start with the Sturmpanzerkampfwagen 4 and then again a new variant, and we are going to stick a flamethrower in it. What have we done? This is, yeah, it's the same speed, so it's just probably a little bit more expensive than the Flammpanzer. Yes, because this one was a much more basic setup. But I'm okay with that. Honestly, we'll just go with the flamethrower variant and everything else being the same. So they become a bit more streamlined and uniform now that we get there. Save that design, and then we can start changing all the production lines. So where are we? Tanks. There we go. So the Flakpanzer is going to become the Flakpanzer Flugabwehrkampfpanzer 4, the anti-air fighting tank number 4. All right. We've got the Flammpanzer, which is going to be replaced by the. Okay. Yep. I forgot to change the designation, so it's probably just outdated the. Yeah, so that's not what I wanted. That's the one I had. This is the flame tank. This needs to be a Flammpanzer 4. Rename that, and that can get a different support tag as well. That looks reasonable, although I've used that for artillery before, but it's fine. There we go. So now we've got the Flammpanzer, the Sturmpanzerkampfwagen 4A, we've got the Flakpanzer, the Waffenträger, and I don't know what the difference is between these two. Oh, this is the one that wasn't supposed to exist. All right, there we go. Because by renaming it, it's given it a new template, so let's remove that. Anyway, so Flakpanzer 4, the Flammpanzer is going to be, and we're going to do that again. Flammpanzer is going to be the Flammpanzer 4. Waffenträger 3A is going to become the Waffenträger 4, and the Sturmpanzerkampfwagen 4 is already in production. So all of these lines are ramping up. We're going to be building more advanced variants, and that's all good. All right, so we are not retaking this position, which means Riga is under direct threat from being cut off, and it looks like the Russian assault in the north is about to break through as well, despite the fact that it actually goes over a river line. So we are definitely struggling in the area here to make breakthroughs. I think what we need to do is start distributing more firepower. We do have a little bit of artillery now in storage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the infantry division. I will duplicate that. And that is going to be the Infantry Division A. And they will get a single line artillery. Just our team. It's expensive, and we might need a slightly different symbol. I'm going to go with the. Now we'll stick with it. It shouldn't be too hard to. I closed it. It shouldn't be too hard to distinguish them. So that is Infantry Division A with a single artillery battalion. Okay, save that. And then we're just going to outdate the old infantry divisions, which means that they will become obsolete. And then we can start, we'll start by changing these 3 divisions here over to the newer one, which is going to need additional artillery. If you're wondering why it needs additional infantry equipment, that is just these are just the combat losses. So let's get that changed, and then we'll have to wait for the artillery to arrive, and we can attempt another assault. We might take one division out in the northern line here, which is currently not under threat. So let's get that one as well. That division can change to the updated infantry division, and they can, which one was it? I changed this one. They can, we're going to give them a separate front line here. So that division goes there. We can actually assault from here. So let's extend the line here and like that, yeah. And then this division goes on the front line, this division goes onto the front line, and your task is to retake the fortifications here, which is going to be difficult. But we will see what we can do. We'll get another division over. Let's not attack across the river line. We'll try to retake the positions along the lines, but the north is starting to crumble. Strategically, if we are losing the Baltic duchies, it's not the end of the world. These are buffer states at the end, but we do need to ensure that the line where everything stops is the Königsberg. It's the Polish line here, effectively. So if we need to shorten the front lines, because right now we have a very long front all across from Ukraine to the United Baltic Duchies. If we're falling back here, we'll concentrate along a much shorter front between Memel and the southern end of Poland, and that would be easier to defend. However, what we can do in preparation for the eventuality is, and I think we have already somewhat fortified the lines here. Let's fortify them a little bit more. So just along the lines here, and also the Polish line needs to be fortified. So having a fallback line here where we can potentially, I think that's about as far south as we go. Yeah, that we can potentially use as a position to hold for a last stand, sort of, is not a bad idea. So let's get that all done. All right, there is. Okay, this is just the Italians are running a counterattack. A single Italian mountain division is running a counterattack against French fortifications. That is brave but unnecessary. We are not doing any offensive operations right now here. There is a rather large naval battle going on between the Irish fleet and a British screening group here. They've already so the British were hunting Irish convoys, but the Irish home fleet is together with the Dutch is now actually joining the fight here, which is good. I'll take it. And over here, these are the Irish losing convoys going through the channel. We've lost one of our planes. And we have reinforcements coming in here to assist against the enemy submarines. The heavy cruiser has retreated because the Steinmetz, because it doesn't have any capabilities of dealing with the submarines. But these are, I believe, Turkish convoys. So we'll see if the planes can get there in time to deal with the submarines. Anyway, back to the front lines. We are pushing in the north. There's some resistance here towards Bergen, but not an awful lot. I think we can push through that, so that's all good. The Finnish incursion is widening. So the biggest problem that Sweden has now is that they managed to get their divisions cut off in the north. These divisions need to free themselves rapidly, and I have no troops to assist here. Otherwise, the eastern flank on Sweden is going to collapse. New problems everywhere. The rest of these are all attack runs here, but we're sort of starting to have contact across the Ostwall. Across the Ostwall defensive lines. One German division should be on the way to. There should be one German division on its way to Kerch. There it is. Yeah. Why are you? You should be able to just walk across here. Can you not? That should be a river. There should be a crossing. Apparently not. Okay. Right. So that's all under control. The attack in the south is against the lines. Yeah, the third. Okay, never mind. I thought one of the tank divisions had joined battle here, but we're still trying to break the French lines there. But the rest of the front is relatively static, and as such, let's keep an eye on the more dynamic happenings in Norway, where we have made it all the way to Stavanger, and we're about to isolate some British troops here. I think we can try to cut towards Bergen from here. Honestly, let's make sure that we are cutting off the British in the south. Stop the attack here. But instead, let's see that we can. Okay, we'll pin the British. We'll pin the British near Stavanger and see that we can close the gap here. And in the north, you can assist with that assault. And we are pushing back the exhausted British division here towards Bergen in the north. And then we can concentrate on maybe destroying these British divisions there. We've got 2 infantry divisions joining in Oslo, which can reinforce the lines here, which is good. The incursion has been held nearing Elverum. And in the east, they have pushed. Okay, the Russians have reinforced. The Russians have reinforced the breakthrough here, have exploited the breakthrough. This is less than ideal. I am not sure we can push back against this. These divisions have their artillery, so we'll attempt to push back against the Russian incursion here, and that is probably not going to happen. Yeah, there's no way we're getting through that. So, despite the fact that we have reinforced these divisions, there's no way we're breaking these Russian forces here. So I think that breakthrough is going to be hard to contain. We might have to pull the troops from the north. I think we're going to remove the division from Narva and get it already south toward trying to contain that breach and to see if we can to see what we can do there. Otherwise, we will have to fall back. We will have to give up on Riga and fall back behind the lines, shorten the front. This should be fortified. Yes, it is. So we can shorten the front here behind Riga and hold the Russians on a much shorter front line. So that's a possibility that we can have. In Norway, we're shortening the lines here. We'll just wait for the mountain division to join, and then we can. Oh dear. And then we can push towards Stavanger in the north. I think here we are just going to actually encircle and destroy this British division while we're here instead of pushing towards Bergen. And we have a couple of naval battles going on before we look at anything else. This is okay. That's a British escort group. So they have started challenging us in the North Atlantic Gap. Yeah, they've seen that the losses on transports are too vast. So they have started sending reinforcements into the Mid-Atlantic Gap and the North Atlantic Ridge. We can potentially, and I think that's a good idea, given that they are defending here now, we are going to add the Labrador Sea instead and remove the North Atlantic Ridge for the submarines. That should give us additional capability. Hopefully we can outrange their support. There's a significant commitment of fighters, and okay, so the French have been bombing the Rhineland have been trying to bomb the Rhineland, but our heavy fighters have, as you can see, pretty much made mincemeat out of the enemy support plane. So they are now starting to commit fighters in order to escort the planes. In the lower German how is that Upper Germany and that's Lower Germany? Yes, it is, because it's the other way around. This is where the mountains are. So in this region, everything's under control here as well, but they have started committing fighters into Rhineland, and in they have some ground support in the Low Countries. But the majority of them is still fighting over northern France, which is where Operation Paula is ongoing, and we are concentrating on the strategic destruction of the syndicalist aviation. Naval battle, where we have the Turkish convoys were lost, the planes didn't arrive in time, so that's unfortunate, but such is war sometimes. All right, how is the Indonesian situation looking like? We have not been able to push further through, so we'll have to see where it's going to be, where we are going to make our Schwerpunkt and attack. I think what terrain do we have here? There are the hills of Annam, northeast of Saigon, and I think that's the better route rather than trying to push through the mountainous terrain along the coastline. So let's shorten the front lines here and concentrate on assaulting the hill positions here, and then we'll break through, try to destroy encircled divisions in the north, and finish this up. All right, so that's underway, and there is a British naval invasion, and this is what we were fearing. The British are planning a naval invasion near Leicester, and they're probably going to, given that Dublin is not defended, the Irish are bringing troops back, so hopefully they can manage to defend their east coast. But it could be that Ireland could fall, which means a potential change in strategy. So if Ireland falls and we can no longer maintain the submarine operations in the Atlantic, the happy times will be over. We will have to return the submarines pretty much home, because we have no territory from which to operate on, and or try to disrupt in the Mediterranean. And then we would have to focus, after taking out Denmark, we will have to focus on defeating France and taking the Atlantic ports. The assault in the south is not going as well as I thought it would, mostly because it's in the night and the tanks don't fight too well in the night. But the French are continuously reinforcing the positions. However, it has at least served in bringing them away from the assaults on Belfort, and as such, that is an advantage. So, Eastern Front looks bad. We'll bring more, and yes, the Greeks have declared war on Bulgaria. Bulgaria is on their own at this point, because we cannot spare any troops right now. Hopefully the Ottomans can assist. Bulgaria is in the Reichspakt, but I would love to send expeditionary forces. Right now I don't have anything to do so. Meanwhile, in Germany, Crown Prince Wilhelm offered army command. Wilhelm, the Crown Prince of the German Empire, has been offered to be commissioned in the army once again by the Kaiser's inner circle to lead the troops in the Second Weltkrieg. During the First Weltkrieg, he was one of the supreme commanders in the Western Front, and though his leadership was criticized by many of his generals, he returned home victorious. Perhaps he can prove himself on the battlefield once more. We can get him as a field marshal and get 2% war support, or we can just keep him out of the war. Given that he is the crown prince, I mean, field marshal is not a position in which he is going to be under direct threat to get shot. So I don't see why not. Wilhelm von Preußen becomes the field marshal, and we get 2% base war support. Is he any good? That is the next question. What is he? Wilhelm von Preußen. He is politically connected, and that's about it. Yeah. So he will be having more of a ceremonial role, I would say, at this point. Okay, probably the hottest front right now, except for the naval battles where things are going quite hot. Denmark Strait, yeah, nothing that we need to worry about. Is Norway, where we are rushing as fast as possible through Norway. We actually have a division ready here to assist with the push towards Bergen. So let's see that we can... and oh, the Canadians have joined. So I am not getting anywhere with the action as promised. So the Entente has now joined the war against Britain, which is effectively a revanchist attack here. So Canada is going to try to they want to take their homeland back. And that is extremely welcome, because that means that we could potentially run, if we can get them to give us naval access, we can ask for docking rights and military access. Yeah, I'm not sure which one of them allows me. We'll start with the docking rights. So with docking rights, we could operate the submarines out of Canada and cover at least the North Atlantic still. So in case Ireland falls, so that would still be a possible positive outcome. All right. Oh yeah, we can base our ships in their ports. Yes. All right. We are going on the attack. Unfortunately, the 234th Infantry Division in the south is extremely weakened. So I think we will have to halt the assault first, and yeah, let the troops recover a little bit. We are getting counterattacked in the north, unfortunately. So there are fresh Norwegian troops coming in from the north, from Bergen, and we might need reinforcements along the lines here. Can we put? Yeah, we should be able to. Well, we should be able to get reinforcements out. So we'll just have to hold here. We'll have to hold out here for now. We'll defend here for now because we're also coming under air attack, and we are going to follow up and hopefully overtake that British division here while we are holding up against the Norwegians in the north. In the south, and yeah, no, move in there. Okay, and yeah, everybody joins the war, and Canada intervenes in the Weltkrieg. After the end of the British Revolution, the new syndicalist government in London found itself staring down the old government in exile in Ottawa across the Atlantic for a decade and a half, neither side particularly willing nor able to break the tense peace which followed. Today, this strange status quo has finally collapsed as the Canadian government declared that they shall wait no longer to continue the struggle. Reports of large mobilizations and aggressive naval actions, along with rumors of coordination with the Reichspakt, all seem to confirm that Canada has thrown herself and her allies into the Second Weltkrieg. All right, we're not the only ones managing a two-front war either. So this is really good news, because that means Canada is now both positioned to attack the British and to potentially take on the United States in the south, or at least keep them busy for a little bit while we keep sinking Mexican freighters. All right, we get a new operative. Anything interesting? We can get a Russian. Oh yeah, I would like a Russian. She is efficient, as she should be. As that flies well with the Germans. So yeah. Evdokia Polyakova, she is our new operative, and she will instantly be sent to Pskov in order to start building up an intelligence network there. We are still running the operations. It's still going to take a while, and another ace pilot. That is good news. Somebody was asking what the strategic bombers are doing in the east. Not much, because they're training. The Fernkampfgeschwader 2 is training. We are probably able to add another one, actually, at this point. Not quite yet, but well, we'll send it over, and they can be on the Eastern Front. We do have a couple of ungrouped air wings here. That is Western Front, and that one is Western Front as well. Yeah, and we are seeing an increased air spread of the air presence into the Rhineland. They have reinforced the number of fighters, so I think that is a Jagdgeschwader and a Zerstörergeschwader. You are no longer going to do pilot exercises. You are going to go for air superiority in the Rhineland and instantly try to counter that enemy incursion and see what we can do about that. Okay, then. How does it... We're not making any progress in the south here. So breaking... the 3 tank divisions are struggling to break through the French defenses. We'll see. Maybe they can manage it. But it is a hard fight. So let's get back to the Norwegian situation, where we are sort of spread across the lines here. I don't want to spread us too thin, but I might... I think I am going to shorten the front lines here a little bit, although we're currently just defending in the northern corner there. Naval battle, where... Oh, that's just because they had reinforcements. It wasn't an actual naval battle. I do have to keep a little bit of an eye on these. When things go sideways there, we are destroying the which one is this? The 97th Infantry Division, which is now encircled south of Bergen. We've cut them off from support in the north, and we are sending reinforcements to take Bergen, and hopefully from there we might just have to move towards the north in Trondheim and then finish that off. In the east, the troops are potentially positioned. We can try another assault here with 3 divisions onto the fortified position in the south, but I doubt that we can break them there. Yeah, no, we're not breaking through that in any way, shape, or form. So we'll build up the planning. And we will attempt to push back the Russians, but or at least make sure we hold them. And I think I am going to abandon the rest of the line here, honestly, and get all divisions assigned to this line. And we may as well make sure that all of them are of the new template. So all of these divisions need to be on the Infantry Division A. Okay, and start working with us. Major Norwegian attack across the lines of contact here in the north. The Kingdom of Greece has joined the Moscow Accord. The traitors, honestly. How's the Indonesian scenario looking? The troops are still gathering their strength for the attack here, but the idea is to assault across the lines here, cut the north off, destroy them, and then move on Saigon. But we'll let the troops recover first, because they are what are these? Oh, these divisions are coming in from Africa. Right. These are Middle Africa divisions that we were sent over for assistance. Okay, Norway is the front to keep an eye on. And the air situation in Germany. We are countering. We're countering the French over the Rhineland, and Indochina has declared war on Poland. I'd call that ambitious, and obviously, everybody. The Russians have declared war on German East Asia as well. Everybody's at war with everybody else. We are getting material support. Cuba wants to join our war effort. Yes, you're free to. You are free to. Sweden sends us material. Yes, please. Belarus has access. Poland wants to join. I am going to decline Poland for now. We'll see how the. I'm going to keep Poland in a reserve in case we need to defend the lines here. Yes, I am taking Ireland. You're already at war with the British, so you may as well. Peru wants to send us material. Middle Africa wants to help the war effort. Yes, Middle Africa can join. And Bulgaria wants to join. Yes, since Greece attacked Bulgaria already, and Flanders Wallonia wants to join as well. They are welcome to. Lithuania wants to send 7 divisions. Okay, I'm thinking that you might need them on the front, but I'll accept your divisions. And yes, the Dutch. So, air battle over northern France. We are actually starting to see aerial superiority after horrific losses on the side, and they after them diverting planes towards attacking the Rhineland, which we are controlling pretty well. All in all, I think things are in a good position. The naval invasion in Ireland is still ongoing, and it looks like they are defending the Mid-Atlantic Gap as well. We're still managing to sink some transports, but we'll see how it goes. There are fresh divisions. These are the Lithuanian divisions, I believe, that are now under my control. So where are we going to position them? I think they are actually in a good place where they stand. And I appear to have lost my fallback line here completely, but that's okay. We'll just hold where we are, and the Lithuanian divisions can. I just have to handle them now because they're under my control. So they're going to get into a new army, and they will be joining Heeresgruppe Ost as the. Shall we annoy the French and call it the Fremdenlegion? We shall do that, absolutely. All right, these troops, and they can be under... who's going to manage them? Kesselring, why not? So Kesselring is going to manage the Fremdenlegion. Gives me another group of divisions. They're currently going to sit in their defensive positions. That is fine. Actually, we could pull them north to try to evict the Russians again. Maybe that's not such a bad idea. Because I think we have enough defenses along the line here. So if we get these divisions, yeah, we should be all right in defenses here. Let's get these divisions for a concentrated attack on the fortified parts of the Ostwall and see if we can retake it. So that's something. Ace Pilot's been promoted. That is good. Always glad to see that. And the rest of the Ostwall is sort of holding for now. But Norway is where we are in a great state of flux. So let's continue there. And now everybody is declaring war on everybody else, which is good. And that means everybody at least gets involved rather than standing on the sidelines. More divisions have arrived. More infantry divisions have arrived, and I think they have they retreated. They appear to have. The British appear to have shipped out of Stavanger. Unfortunately, we did not have enough. We did not have enough organization in order to push the troops all the way and capture the British. So it could be that they've Dunkirk out of Stavanger and are returning to England. We shall see. We have managed to encircle the 97th, and I think we are about to get ready for a push on Bergen, and then we should have secured. All of the. There's one more position here where we can probably just counterattack and take that supply position. That's what we'll do next once that's defeated. And then we'll have secured southern Norway supply-wise. Now the big political question: should we cooperate with the Entente? The Entente being Canada, Australia, New Zealand. And I'm not sure what else is left at this point. There's a bit in Africa left, and that bit obviously. Oh, and Spain. Yes, Spain has joined the Entente as well. Many of our military experts believe our war against the Third International will be a difficult one to win without some additional force applying pressure to the syndicalists. Fortunately, the experts in the Dominion of Canada appear to agree. They have suggested that we meet with leaders from the Entente, now that they are also at war with the Commune of France, and discuss the possibility we might work together. An alliance is out of the question, of course. What is the question is how much their cooperation is worth, considering they must fight the syndicalists anyhow. We can, yes, we will definitely talk. Now, do we want long-term politically? Are we going to see the Entente back in France? No. Given the history between Germany and France, the long-term solution is going to be to have a France under German control, simply because the threat to the German heartland is too big. Great Britain, we can talk, but France needs to be secured, and especially that Spain is part of the Entente. Otherwise, we're straight back where we started in the First Weltkrieg. However, we don't necessarily have to tell them that. Especially if they can take on the Americas, that would be quite interesting indeed. So let us meet and at least temporarily work together under the auspices of the enemy of my enemy is my friend. We are still not making any noticeable progress in the south here, but we have somewhat whittled down the French troops. They are. I could start. I might have to launch a pinning attack in order to prevent reinforcements coming in. So we will probably divert 2 divisions. That's the maximum I can spare to stop the French divisions here from counterattacking. From reinforcing, and we'll see if we can manage to push out the French in the south near Besançon. In the meantime, we do have to keep an eye on Norway. We are. I think they have vacated their positions. So now we can get everybody assigned north, and I think we might be able to just take Bergen, honestly, from here. We can push in the north here, and we have defeated this attack. So this is depleting the lines somewhat here, but I will try to secure that supply hub against the. No, I don't think that's going to happen just because we have to go across the river. No, let's just defend the line here. Yeah, we are going to need all the infantry divisions on the northern line here, please. But so far it looks good in Norway. Another naval battle, and I think again this was just the convoy reinforcements. I'm just checking if there's anything I've missed. And plenty of naval combat, but this is all in the Atlantic Gap, so this is all the submarines being busy. And we have contained the Russians here for now, so let's see if we can retake that position. And we are clearing out the positions near Stavanger, and then we'll move everything north for the push towards potentially towards Trondheim, because it depends on how much more of a fight the Norwegians have in them. If we can take Bergen off them as well, then things might be better. The Canadians instantly, after joining the war, appear to have a conscription crisis. French-speaking Canadians have long opposed conscription. That's the problem, I see. Viewing the idea of fighting wars on behalf of the British as offensive. Now that the Canadian government has enacted full conscription in the country, the response across the French-speaking provinces of Quebec has been swift. French Canadians have taken to the streets in massive, crippling protests. It is a reenactment of the conscription crisis of 1917, although this time it seems French Canadians have lost their patience. Again and again, we are called upon to shed French blood on behalf of English wars. Quebec Premier Maurice Duplessis told an angry crowd in Quebec City. We say no, and they tell us we must. Quebec will never be free of English tyranny as long as it is the lapdog to English politicians. that is troubling, because Canada might actually now look into something like a civil war on this position. We have completed some armor research, so let's see. That was just that enables armored skirts, and this would just engine upgrades, which we don't need right now. We are on track with everything. I'm very keen to get these going at some point, but right now we've got other problems. And the amphibious tanks. I believe what's in order is to catch up with the guns potentially. How many do we have on the Navy right now? Just one. That's actually not enough. I might need 2 research slots on the Navy. Let's get the active sonar going. We've got a good research bonus here. Yeah, Germania-Werft, why not? Let's get that going. We have some political power. I am going to, and another ace pilot, very well. I am going to save up for some political action to improve our war support, because especially the combat casualties are starting to cause some grief here. So I would love to run the domestic film industries, make some movies about the heroic German troops in foreign lands, which I think is going to be in everybody's interest. All right. Meanwhile, the Bulgarians are having to deal with the Greek. So that's not something I am going to be dealing with. However, Friedrich Paulus's divisions are somewhat not yet ready. They still need to. Are they supplied properly? They should have enough supply. We are going to make sure that they get all the supply they can get, and once they are ready, then we will launch the attack here. So in the meantime, the Russians in the east have been stopped. We will see if we can make the break south of Besançon, while okay, I think the divisions have been exhausted, so we might need to get another 2 divisions. That is somewhat risky, but we might need to get 2 more divisions. Let's get the 113th and the 87th to hold the French, and to make sure this is costly, to make sure that the tanks can break the French lines in the south, where the fortifications are weak. In Norway, okay, we are moving upon Bergen, but there is a fair amount of opposition at this point. So right now we're just consolidating the front lines here in the north. And yeah, we've captured the whole south, so Sweden can take care of that. We will move everybody north. We might have to wait until the supply positions are. Actually, Bergen is kind of critical for that. Okay, we do need to push. We do need the push on Bergen, so we do need additional divisions. We do need additional divisions into Bergen if possible. And we've got some more divisions rolling in. So yeah, okay. We'll focus on the assault on Bergen. We've got another mountain division, the 1st Gebirgsdivision, and they can join. And the secret police was completed. I've completely forgotten that. It was so long ago at this point. Not in game time, but it's in real time. This one. So this gives us Ferdinand von Bredlow, which gives not too crazy about, but it was just one of those things that we had to do, and hopefully this would help with all the interruptions. But now that the where is it? It's not over here. I'm gonna have to find. There we go. Now that the syndicalist blow has completed, we can now actually combat defeatism, which gives us 20% base war support. And that is a very important stat, because right now our war support is it is okay in term, but we can get more bonuses out on core territory attack and defense. So that is important. We are how many days? 11 days away from the Danish invasion. The troops are ready at the border. So let's keep an eye on the French situation, where we are still holding, and I am really wary of sending the last remaining divisions in. These are very, very expensive counterattacks or pinning attacks here, but the tanks are breaking through. In the south, there is a single French, I have no idea how you pronounce that in French. The 20e. Okay, they have again broken loose, so we would need to send 2 more divisions in. That is a let's get the 109th in and get them to hold the line there, while the tanks are pushing back the French. And we really do need to. Carnival festivals. Festivities have been cancelled. Yes, in the Rhineland. Cost me 1 war support, but we are almost through. There's unfortunately the 60th Infantry Division from the British side has reinforced, so we do need to send ever more divisions into the attack northward to hold them there and to prevent reinforcements of the breach south near Besançon. Now the last remaining division is the 60th Infantry Division from the British side, and we have broken them, so we have managed the first step onto French land, and we will stay right here where we are. But we will move the front line here, in fact. So let's make sure that we are not moving the troops out. Front lines moved south, and the rest of the troops from Mulhouse should now follow suit. That has been a hard-fought battle, but we've made the first step onto French territory, and more naval battles to check. I think this is all just these were not ours. I am not even sure. These were South American. A South American destroyer group has been attacked by the British Home Fleet, which is operating in the Atlantic. We know this much, and the Atlantic is quickly becoming a massive battleground. We've lost 1 submarine to the British, but we've still sunk some convoys here. 7 British convoys sunk. 6 Venezuelan convoys sunk, 2 more Mexican convoys sunk, and 4 more French convoys sunk. So all in all, we're holding our own here, and in the north we have intercepted more Mexican convoys. So we're definitely cutting off any trade between Mexico and the British Isles, which was the target of the submarine operation. And our submarine groups are looking good, are looking capable. And I think if we're looking at the overall naval losses, it's going to be quite drastic. But we'll do that at the end. Right now, I want to see the assault on Bergen, which is absolutely crucial. And everyone's declaring war on Poland. That normally happens. It is absolutely crucial that we can, or we might be able to. Okay, we'll see if we can trap the divisions here near. We trap the divisions here near Bergen and see if we can take Bergen. Ireland, no, do not send your divisions to me. That is a terrible idea. The Ottoman Empire can join the war, and I hope Ireland is sending their divisions home in order to defend their ports. That would be sort of important. And we are in the south. We are going to hold the lines. Immediate counterattack against the tank divisions in the south. Obviously, this is not a fortified position, so the Panzerdivision 4th and the 3rd, have to defend against an immediate French counterattack. But I think we can. I think we should be able to hold that once the infantry arrives, despite the fact that there are actually no fortifications here. But that is the first breach in the French lines. More importantly, the Bergen question at this stage. Can we? Okay, we've got everybody, please, in on the war against on the attack against Bergen, and we are going to try and take the airport off them, while we are moving north to cut off any kind of reinforcements towards Bergen. And we've got additional divisions coming in. we are throwing everything onto the assault in Bergen to push the British out there. That is absolutely crucial. Unfortunately, they have reinforced in the north, so we'll redirect our efforts, and we'll attack Bergen from two sides. Ideally, from the north and from the. Let's keep the attacks going. We need to take Bergen. Just push what you can. Unfortunately, our divisions are absolutely exhausted. There is a fresh division coming in, however. So hopefully, there they go, and then we'll get everybody else to join the attack as well. We're trying to cut them off in the north, but the British are fiercely resisting. Sweden has lost a bit of ground here, so we'll try to launch a counterattack and see if we can help stabilize that. Have we held in the south? Yes, we have held in the south. So we are now controlling the French position in the south, and we are in a all attacks onto Bergen. We need to break Bergen. The divisions are completely exhausted, and it looks like we might have to, because we are at the edge of our supply lines here. So both the Norwegians that are holding, and these Norwegians? The Norwegians that are holding. Okay, we've managed to push one division out of Bergen. Let's keep the attack going, and throw it in. Armoured is declaring war on Russia, be it as it may, and it looks like the Russians are actually trying to break out. Oh yeah, they've reinforced the salient near Riga significantly. So the Russians are trying to break out here, and they have pushed a lot of infantry into the area. We will try a counterattack with pretty much everything we have here against the fortified positions in the south, and see if we can push the Russians out and cut them off. And many things happening. So I think with the attack on Bergen floundering, we will have to concentrate. We probably will have to concentrate troops in order to make that happen. So I think what I'll do is give all these divisions a separate front line, and just here these 6 divisions, and we will for now focus our efforts of isolating Bergen in the north, and then we will. Nope, it is too much. Okay, I think the divisions in front of Bergen have to regain some organization, have to try and resupply a little bit, and then we will see if we can launch an assault here along the lines. Taking Bergen is essential because we don't have enough supply out of Stavanger. We are at the edge of our supply lines here, and if we can't take Bergen, then things won't go well. So we'll deal with that next episode. For now, we'll take a look where we have not managed to do an awful lot against enemy transports, but political things happen. So let's start looking at those. First of all, the Halifax Conference. Leaders of the Entente said the Reichspakt gathered in Halifax today in order to discuss the possibility of cooperation in the war against the Third International. What this cooperation would consist of was not difficult to ascertain. Military and naval access between all members, but more importantly for the Entente, the willingness on the part of the Reichspakt to stay out of both France and Great Britain once the war is done. I doubt this. This would allow for a swift return to Europe for the French and British exile governments, the ultimate goal of both. But now a single question hangs over the conference. Would the German Empire even agree to such terms, and if so, what would they ask in return? And we demand... What can we demand? I said we would talk. What can we demand? Staying out of both France and Great Britain in the peace conference following our future victory would mean the German Empire walking away from a long and costly war with little to show for it, and possibly two restored neighbors who we have vanquished previously and who have no reason to be fond of us. We cannot rely on their gratitude. So do we even consider the idea? What do we ask in return? I made my points already clear. France, we are not accepting the Entente on the continent, this close to the German heartland. Claim on Alsace-Lorraine, no. French must join Middle Europa. Negative. They must recognize the former colonies in Africa and Asia as ours. Negative. The British must renounce their claims to Northern Ireland. Don't care. I think under these conditions, we have no treaty. We will not cooperate. It would have been nice to work together, but when it comes to making demands that the empire stays out of France and Britain, that is not going to happen. Because for exactly that reason, always setting ourselves up for is the Third Weltkrieg, where they will once again start trouble. No, the Reichspakt will extend into French territory. We will, in some manner, control the French government and work on desyndicalization, but we're not going to get the old Entente right back where it was. That is a pointless discussion. We are not going to work together in an official manner. For now, we will take France by ourselves, and that is that. Now, before we end the episode, let's take a look at the losses overall and how things are looking. The Second Weltkrieg. We've got the Moscow Accord and the Third International against the Reichspakt, which is large at this point. The French, Norwegians is what we care about. The French have lost almost 200,000 men. The Russian losses have been quite horrific as well on the Eastern Front. The British losses, and with all this combined, they have our major opponents have lost somewhere around almost 400,000 men against losses on the German side of 40,000, which I think is a ratio that we can work with. Now we are on the defensive along the lines here. Let's do a quick overview where we're at. Russian attacks, the Ukrainian lines have predictably collapsed. The big question now is if the Ostwall is going to hold, or if the Russians are going to be able to break our defenses here. So that is the large question. So far, it seems like the positions are holding, and I'm going to have to redraw the defensive lines here because the Russian attacks are relatively minor, and they have focused their energy on the salient north of Riga. But we will try to. That is useless as an attack, but the rest is not. We will try to cut their lines behind them, restore the Ostwall with the help of the Fremdenlegion, the Lithuanian volunteers, and then potentially encircle and destroy some of the Russian positions here. So yeah, we'll see if this is going to work. If this is going to work, I doubt it, because these positions are relatively formidable, and the Russians have aerial superiority, and there's not much we can do about it. So the Baltic states are seeing some Russian air. We do have 2 tactical bomber wings that we could potentially divert. We would be incurring a fair amount of losses, and I am not quite willing to entertain that idea. We do have, however, the second Fernkampfgeschwader, and given that the Western Russian region actually has little in terms of air defense, what I think we're going to be doing is at least we will see how this goes. We will send them on strategic bombing over the Western Russian position. And then we will see how that affects the positions on the front lines. Let's see if we can cut their supply somewhat by attacking their attacking their supply lines from the air, with the second Fernkampfgeschwader being the vanguard here. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. On the naval side, in so far, as we reach November, we've lost 23 destroyers and sunk 24. We've lost 6 submarines and sunk 10. We've lost a cruiser and sunk 11 enemy cruisers. Lost 6 convoys and sunk a vast number. And I'd say all in all, that was all in all so far, we are doing a lot of damage to the enemy shipping. We will see how much damage we can do in the air. And Norway is at the edge, is at knife's edge here, and we will see if we can actually manage to take Bergen off the British and the Norwegian defenders here. And if once we take Bergen, I think we've secured most of it. How far is Norway towards? No, the government's still going to keep fighting, I think. So after taking Bergen, we're probably going to have to push all the way north to Trondheim. So I think what we'll do is once we've taken Bergen, we will push north. We'll take the supply position. We'll take the I believe this is Lillehammer, if I'm not mistaken. We'll take the supply position here and then push north towards Trondheim and just try to bypass the British troops all the way in the coastline and cut them off. Take Trondheim and then destroy what's left. So that's the long-term plan. Given that there's no cooperation with the Entente, we will have to push into France. We have made our first gain, but it's been hard going. But we have breached the French Maginot Line in the south, and we'll be able to. We might bring the, at this point, depending on how the situation develops around Belfort, we might bring the tank divisions north again. But first of all, Operation Paula has to happen, and it is ongoing. And I think the losses on the year's not yet over. The losses on the enemy side are speaking for themselves. So all in all, the situation is critical but stable. And with that, I will see you all next time.